day one of the holiday, stopover in the ancient city of Perth. The vibrant ancient city of Perth. And we're going to have a bit of lunch here and we're staying here overnight. Bustling town centre. And this is the River Tay again. It looks like any other river running off quite a substantial spate, but she's dead summer low apparently. Incredible. Spate Aviemore. What a beautiful looking sea trout pool that is. Absolutely screaming fish that. Deep on the far side with tree cover. The shallowing pool tail. Looks fantastic. Kyle of Sutherland, Bonar Bridge. Beautiful evening scene. That's a spinning lure I'm going to start with, which is a sort of Toby base type thing, not sure what. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's off. Well, hello again, and it's soon come round to it, midsummer again. Now in June I had a lovely holiday in the far north of Scotland. It's perhaps the furthest north I've been, and for those of you who haven't been to the Highlands or the north of Scotland, or Scotland for that matter at all, it's about time you corrected this. It's an absolutely must-go-to place, whether you're fishing or not, just to visit and experience the scenery and the sort of vibe up there, the coast and the mountains. Unless you've been, it's very difficult to describe just how wonderful it is. Now, the place I visited was a place called Dornoch. That's where we stayed, and we had some lovely walks on the coast, and I did a bit of fishing. Now, primary target was a place known as the Kyle of Sutherland. Now, the Kyle is a truly magical, wondrous place, absolutely stunningly beautiful, and also very, very odd. If you're used to either fishing in a regular estuary or coastline or a river, it's nothing like any of those. It's a sort of tidal, tideway basically, where the tide pushes one way on the ebb very strongly and the opposite way on the flood. Nearest comparison I can think of off the top of my head is maybe the Menai Straits in North Wales. Quite a sight to see and quite difficult to fish. It's quite a strong tide, and I'm told the time to fish is on the ebb. I've learnt an awful lot since I did fish here. So I fished fly and spinner, perhaps a bit more fly than spinner, using mostly a silver Toby or a blue and silver Toby. And on the fly tackle I had an 11-foot rod, 6 to 7 weight, most of the time an intermediate line with a sinking tip, sinking poly leader that is, and about a 10-foot long leader of 8-pound nylon. Swapped the flies about a bit. I fished 2-inch streamers, I fished little wee doubles, mallard and claret, all sorts of things, and also in a few varied locations. The main ticket bit at Bonar Bridge, also right down near the Dornoch Bridge at the other end of the Firth, maybe, I don't know, 11 miles further down the estuary. It's split basically into two beats. You can fish for salmon and sea trout on the main day ticket, that's £35 a day, or you can fish just for sea trout on the estuary below Bonar Bridge, which is £10 a day. That's the option I went for because I didn't really have an awful lot of time, or for that matter a 16-foot double-handed rod for the salmon, which you certainly need that on the huge expanse, that huge width of channel. You'll find information on the day tickets under the Kyle of Sutherland Angling Association. I'll leave a link on at the end, and also one or two other useful contacts. While I was there, I had a good journey up and down the course. I had a couple of sessions fishing in the sea, which was a little bit difficult because of the strong north sea swell coming in. And it's quite a strong swell here. This is Embo Pier in Sutherland, the northeast coast of Scotland. Low tide. I'm just having a bit of a play about trying some tobies out. This is the one I'm trying at the moment, which is a little 15 gram blue and silver. Oh, lightweight spinning rod, £30 braid and £10 fluorocarbon hook length. And I had a look around at a few other estuaries too. There's the good thing about that part of the world, all the small salmon rivers. We've got the Connon, Bewley, Alness, further north the Fleet, the Brora, Helmsdale, and I think north of that the Berrydale. I think most of them have this facility where you can get day tickets for the local association stretch on the tidal reaches and what they call the town water. So there's no problems getting on. It's by no means a closed shop or exclusive salmon anglers only that have booked beach. You can get day tickets, and a lot of these day tickets cover tidal and estuary sections, so it's ideal for somebody who wants to have a crack for the sea trout. Not easy fishing at all, very challenging, and I have to admit, in the 2 sort of 3-hour sessions I had up there, I did not succeed in landing a fish. I had a long range catch and release, as we say, but no fish to the bank. So you have to be prepared to accept that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I have got is a lot of information now, both through Facebook, which unfortunately a lot of that came through after the event, and also I managed to run into the bailiff John just as I was packing up on the last evening. I've got some useful information from him, and of course you get a lot of advice from Kenny the river watcher, who you'll find him in the ice house at Bonar Bridge. It's a little sort of ice house shed just on the north side of the bridge, and that's where you get your day tickets from. In retrospect, it probably is worth hiring a local guide. There is one at Bonar Bridge, and again I'll include that in the credits at the end and the useful information. It might have saved me a blank if I'd have done that and spent the money on it. Just worth mentioning the Kyle at Bonar Bridge. It is quite hard going walking down the rocks at low tide. There's a lot of sort of slippery boulders that are covered with kelp, so walking 50 yards feels more like half a mile, especially with my old knees and ankles. So it is quite hard going. You've got to bear that in mind and allow a lot of time for walking up and down the bank. Oyster catchers there, not too happy. Can't fly away from a nest. If you try and get on the nearby salt marsh, which looks alright from a distance, you'll find there's a lot of very dangerous deep little gullies that you could easily break your ankle in, so you're better off sticking to the rocks and the slippery weed, really. Maybe with the aid of a walking stick or wading staff as well. And this is Brora, another classic small salmon river on the north coast, well, northeast coast I should say, all the way up towards Wick. And this is the estuary beat, which I'm pretty sure you can get quite a low cost sea trout ticket for. And this is what I didn't really want to see, lots of fish rising on that bit of a slack on the far side. Oh, so it looks like I've come to the wrong bank, and those are little quiet rises rather than splashes, so those could be taking fish. Could be that the largely brown trout, I don't know, but oh dear. For those that quite sensibly maybe aren't into the sea trout hunting, there are a lot of hill locks where there's wild brown trout, both on the Caithness Club ticket, the Kyle of Sutherland and the Dornoch Angling Club. I think Galsby Angling Club as well. So a lot of opportunity for that if you're into the hill locks. I really ought to try that sometime. Dornoch is an absolutely beautiful place to stay. Very classy little town. Obviously, it's quite popular with golfers there because of the Royal Dornoch Golf Course. Very nice cafes, museum. But anyway, myself and Mrs. P are really seriously considering return visit next year, certainly armed with the information and knowledge that I have now. Well, this is just the thing with the sea trout fishing. They're totally unreliable beasts. They'll let you down and stand you up. Even when you've travelled several hundred miles to meet them, they don't seem to have any respect for that at all. So all I can do really is have a sort of whimsical wallow in a few past glories. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please subscribe, share, and maybe give us a comment. And I'll see you again soon. We're going to be course fishing next time, and it's going to be a good one. Yeah. Take care.